Okay, folks, we are live again. The broadcast should be starting any second. You may have to refresh your screens. We'll see. Can you hear me all right, Marion?
I can hear you now, yes.
That's better.
You can probably hear me, but still not see me.
I can hear you just fine. So look at, we'll
Okay,
get going. I'm just
excellent.
waiting for the website to show live, and then I can relax about that. And there we go. So we're good. We are live and we are rolling. So just put our names up on the screen here, and then we are ready to get started with what we think is an awesome night for everybody. So sorry, everybody, for the thing there. For some reason, Google Hangouts decided to go a little wonky on us. And just put name in here. And on. And we are ready. So look, welcome again, and thank you, Marion, for joining. And sorry, folks, for the delay on getting things going here. But we are good. First of all, we want to welcome you to this is the new initiative. I've been doing Hangouts for a little over a year in other groups and all that. But this is a brand new website, and we're going to be doing a weekly free Hangout, mainly oriented towards baby boomers and seniors that are looking at making kind of money online over the internet. You know, building their own business, possibly building, if maybe they have a brick and mortar store and they're looking for some guidance or things like that. We're going to be sharing tips, techniques, and hopefully some motivation and inspiration in what we have done. So what we were going to do in every one of our webinars going forward is have a little bit of a brief lesson. Talk a little bit in today, because some of you are new here, some of you know us, some of you don't know us. We're going to introduce ourselves a little bit, and then tell you also, the primary methods that we're doing, earning our living online, and that we'll share all that with you as well. Marion, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Patrick, you've done really well. Like I said, we do apologize for the Google gremlins. We were doing so fine on the and of course now. And then, I don't think anybody's seeing my video, but as long as you can hear my voice, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll hand it back to Patrick.
We hear your voice just fine, but for some reason your video, where it was showing up earlier, it's not showing up now. So I don't know if it's a bandwidth issue or not, but so be it. It's too bad. But anyway, we'll move forward. So let's want to talk a little bit more about why we're doing this. And Marion and I have talked about this a bit. First of all, Marion and I are not business partners. We're friends. Marion lives in the south coast of England, and I live in the south coast of Canada. And she laughed when I said that the other day, that she didn't know we had a south coast in Canada. But we have Great Lakes, and I live right near the Great Lakes in Canada, so I'm in the start of Canada. We both are baby boomers. I've never asked Marion how old she is, and I still won't do that because gentlemen won't do that. But I'll tell you how old I am. I just turned 60 years old, and very happy happy in some respects, but kind of wish I could do it all again in other respects. But just turned 60 years old, and honestly, if a while ago somebody said I would make a living on the internet, I would have. Well, 20 years ago, I said, what the is internet, right? But here we are. Here we are in 2014, baby boomers making a living on the internet. So, excuse my voice. Sorry. So we wanted to share a little bit of a lesson in every one of these sessions. And again, these sessions are going to be at 8 o'clock every week. And this one might be a little bit longer than some of the others, but we'll try to limit them to an hour all the time. I think baby boomers tend not to be as patient listeners as maybe some other people. and I would include myself in that. So I'm not a real big fan of 2-hour or 3-hour calls, and I won't put anybody through that neither. So our lesson this week that we want to talk about, we're kind of going right back to the beginning of somebody, and we don't know if, by the way, anybody's listening or watching, if you have questions or ideas, or just to let us know you're there, just put a comment in the chat over on the website or down below the video, and would love to see some feedback as we go. So our big lesson today, and then I'm going to ask Marion specifically what her idea is about this, is that any business venture you're going to do, whether it be starting up a brand new business, starting up a company, starting some kind of work from home business, or anything, needs kind of a main reason. And I guess I like to, make that a very tangible reason. When I started a few years ago, I didn't really know that, and I didn't really think that. I just thought, I just want to make some money, and I'll tell a little about my story later on. But I didn't really have the, why did I want to do that, and what was the reason? So it's almost like the why. What's the big honking why that you want to do this business, whatever it may be? What is it? And I realize that when most people say, I want to make money on the internet, their why is, well, they want to make money on the internet, right? But I'm looking, and I'm asking you to think of something a lot more personal and important to you than that. Something like what you want to do with that. I want to leave some kind of legacy to my children. I want to have more money to put my kids through college so they don't leave college with debt. In my case, my wife I work from home doing this kind of thing, other kinds of internet stuff, but she still works a full-time job, and she is ready to retire, but we're not quite financially ready for her to retire. So my big why is to get income to a certain level so that she can retire. And she's worked long and hard, as have I, long and hard, but I specifically want her to be in that position to be able to do that soon. And we think we're only maybe a couple months, 3-4 months away from that. So we're close. But that why wasn't really clear to me 3 years ago, but it became clear to me about a year ago. And what that did for me was it made me focus more on doing what I had to do to overcome any kind of little hurdles you have. So I don't want to make this a real lecture for everybody, but by you having a why that's as tangible as something like that means you're not just going to quit or give up or not do anything because you just had a bad day or something silly went on. We're on the internet, things silly go on. Google Hangouts crash, things like that. You got to have something really, really important as a reason that you want to do what you want to do, whatever that business. So I wanted to kind of share that as a really high-level opening today. I actually was I had that plan yesterday to do this today, and then I was on a Hangout yesterday. He was talking about the same thing and shared a book, and I think the book was called Find Your Why, and I bought it. I went through a lot quickly, didn't have to go through it a lot more detail tomorrow, but I just bought it on Amazon on the Kindle. So Marion, what about you? Does that make sense to you that people should have a big fat why in front of them, think about each day? And I'm not seeing or hearing her now, but I want to make sure we're still running live. Yeah, we are. Okay, Marion, I think you might have to log in again. So I'm going to continue on in, and when we see you back, we'll get back to you then. So as I mentioned to everybody here, my why was focusing on a level of income so that my wife can be ready to retire. Now, we've worked towards retirement for a long time. And that focus got me really a lot more motivated than just saying I want to make money. You know what I mean? I hope you understand what I mean. That's me making money is an objective that I need to achieve that, but that thing to me is the meaningful why that she's able to hire. So I really wanted to put that in perspective. I hope that is something that people can get their head around. I'm going to look over on our page here. If anybody, do you agree with that? I see somebody's put a reason in here. Okay, I see some reasons now, and again, you don't have to share them, but I encourage that you know what it is. So thank you, and I can't read the names because it's so. 1 second, let me maximize my screen on my laptop so I can see that a little bit better. So thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing. And this is being recorded. Yes, somebody asked that, and things like that. So I hope we're still coming through. Could somebody put a yes? You can see you or hear you on the screen if we're coming through okay, still live. Just want to make sure, because I'm not seeing my own picture on this right now neither. You hearing us? What the heck? Why wouldn't Google? There we go. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to assume you can hear us or see us. I can't tell from this end unless people leave some feedback on the call. So what I was going to do is talk to Marion about her why. When she comes back in, we'll get to it. Oh, I can see she's coming in right now. And again, sorry about the glitches, but it's just Google Hangouts giving us some problems tonight.
I'm back.
There we go. You're back. And we have video now. So we're good. We've had spotty Google Hangout things going on, but that's life in the fast lane. So are you with me there, Marion? You can hear me now? But now I'm not getting your microphone. So I'm going to continue on, and then you just talk when you're ready. But I'm going to talk a little bit more then about my background, and which I was going to do afterwards, but I'll wait. I'll go forward with that now, just so people understand. Sharing my background is in some ways, I mean, you don't want to show everything about your life, and I'm not going to bore people with my life story. But in my case, doing any of this internet kind of totally new to me 3 years ago. I was in the corporate world, but I was in the software industry. I was not, though, technical in the software industry. I ran sales and marketing for a number of companies over many, many, many years. And as of about 10 years ago, I had a major experience in my life, got me to really start thinking about, you know, trying to get away from work a little bit more and living life a bit more and things like that. And I'll share that more in another one of our Hangouts. But effectively, what it did is it made me start to not try to climb the corporate ladder so much, not try to dance the corporate dance as much as I was doing, but I was working in high-end positions with some very big companies, and I was traveling like crazy and away a lot and going crazy, and some of these companies are publicly traded, and so it was very, very stressful. And as of about 3 years ago, I decided, maybe almost 4 years ago now, I just decided I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it. And in the decade, I'd lost my job a couple times, and as I was getting older, it was progressively harder to find another job, and many of you would understand that. If you're baby boomers and you've looked for work, it's a lot harder at your age and my age than it was when we were kids, right? Just as the way it is. You walk in on an interview and, you know, people exclude you before you get started. What kind of happens is you tend to be then underemployed doing jobs that are less that don't take the capacity that you have, and you may also then be not earning nearly as much money as you were before. But anyway, 3 years ago, I finally said enough's enough. The company I worked for recruited me only a year earlier, kept on saying I was doing this great job, and then all of a sudden one day they came in and said, we really love what you're doing, but we were off on our projections when this was a fairly new company, and we wondered if you'd mind taking a 50% pay decrease. And I was hating the place so much at the time that I decided to just say no. And I said, no, let's work out a nice way that we will leave as friends. And I worked out a way to get out of the company. But I was not going to start working for them for half the money when they were the ones that made some crazy ass projections a year earlier. So I turned to the internet. I said I wasn't going to go look for another job. I wasn't going to go through 6 months or a year to look for another job, and I turned to the internet to start making money. I mean, we all see ads every day, all the time. All these people sharing all these, wealth things and stuff like that. A lot of scammy and schemy things now that I know, but I didn't know then. And I kind of got attracted to one thing that said I could build this empire of websites. And I'd never built a website before. But I'd build this empire of websites, and I'd make a living based on getting paid revenue from Google Ads. What is it? AdWords or AdSense? Can't remember which one's which right now. But anyway, getting paid money from Google when people would see my websites. And I went down a path for 6 months of full-time work, building these websites. Building websites on topics that you wouldn't believe. Like topics that I didn't know a thing about, but they paid good advertising revenue, theoretically, and I'm writing blog posts. I'll give you an example. I did a whole website about acne treatments. Now look at the time I was a 57-year-old guy, and I was writing stupid articles about acne treatments. Now I'll tell you, I don't have acne now, and I didn't really have it all that bad when I was a kid. And I know the treatments now aren't the same as when I was a kid, but for me to be writing stupid articles day in, day out about acne treatments, hoping someday Google was going to send me some advertising revenue, I was almost worse than a job. And I did all kinds of sites and all kinds of things. And after 6 months work, and I'm talking 6 months of heavy work, learning WordPress, learning plugins, learning SEO, learning blogging, learning acne, learning all these topics. After 6 months of building my empire, I earned $38. Now, in my career, I kind of earned $38 in a few minutes, like in my old job. So it was a bit of a disaster. Marion, can you hear me all right? Can you speak up and see if I can hear you? I'm not hearing you, though. No, we're not getting you. So I'll keep going. So I earned $38 after 6 months, folks. So let me tell you, that is not the path to riches. And just to add one other item to it, Google doesn't even pay you until you get over $100. So when I said I earned $38, I'm lying. They didn't give me the 38. They didn't give me the $38. So I figured I had to do something different. I had to do something different. And I started doing some other things, and I started offering some service to local companies. And I bought some product, I made some sense, and I did okay. But I was then really being accountable to these local companies. And I didn't mind it, but it wasn't great, and it wasn't great money. And then about almost 2 years ago to the day, I ended up getting connected in a business that we'll talk a little bit more about tonight. And when I got connected in the business, it almost just opened things up for me, to be honest. It really did. it opened things up to the point that I had all the training there that I needed if I wanted to follow it and if I bought it. I had a commission plan that was paying a really good commission, so that, when I'd make a sale, I'd make maybe a $25 sale, a $100 sale, a $500, $1,000, things like that, and more. And over a period of, I guess it was about 5 months, I was earning a couple $1,000s a month in this business. Now, let me tell you, everybody doesn't earn that. Some people earn more and some people earn less, and I'm going to share an income disclosure with you later on. But the cool thing was, all of a sudden, things opened up for me. And Marion is earning very well in this business too. And again, I'm not getting audio from you, Marion, so I'll just keep going on my own. But things opened up for me. I started getting more exciting about this whole thing, more excited about it. I started getting into it. I started coming myself more with people that were actually achieving in this business and that were willing to help me achieve as well. And I'll tell you what, it made a massive, massive difference, and it made to our finances. Because shortly, as my income ended up it was exceeding my pension that I had earlier. And I worked, think of how long you work for your pension. And all of a sudden, I'm in this business for 6, 7 months, and I'm exceeding it, right? And I've had many months where I've exceeded it more and more. Again, when you get started, it may take you a little longer. And as I said, there's no guarantees, and we'll share an income disclosure. But I'll tell you what, this has changed our lives, because it's got me to the point now that we're really close, that my wife will be able to leave her full-time job. And it's giving me a freedom now that we aren't tied to the job. For years I traveled on business. I was on planes every week. I literally was in, maybe 4 plane flights a week for 20 years, traveling nonstop. I missed a lot of my kids growing up. So we've got young guys doing this now that just don't have to do this and are making a good size income. But it's not all about money. In my case, it's about freedom. It's about freedom for me and freedom for my wife. And you may have, honk and why as well, so that you can, and maybe it's freedom as well. I mean, the one thing I've noticed is we're not, and a lot of people that are promoting internet marketing or network marketing or things like that are talking about, massive riches, millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff. And yet, as baby boomers and seniors, we're not maybe looking for that. We've been through the big house thing, we've been through the fancy car stages of our lives. I've had a lot of, I can't imagine how much money I've thrown away on expensive cars and these. I'm a car guy. But that's not all that meaningful to me at this time in my life. What's meaningful to me now is my big why, that my wife has freedom and I have freedom, so that we can travel and enjoy things and still make a living doing what I think is relatively easy online work. And when I talk about easy online work, I talk about things like writing a blog post, doing a video. Now, normally a Google Hangout isn't the challenge, as it seems to be for us tonight. I don't know. We're getting problems, but maybe it's Google's having a problem, or maybe it's the bandwidth. We don't know. We'll see what the video turns out like at the end. But normally Google Hangouts aren't a challenge. But so the kind of work we typically do in the business we're going to share with you is things like a Hangout, a blog post, or writing an article about something, right? And when people see the blog, they may end up deciding to join your business. Now, over the last while, the company that we're talking about, by the way, the company is called Empower Network. And some of you may be already members, because I know Empower Network has shared our Hangout for existing baby boomers to tune in to learn a few things. And again, we're sorry about the technical glitches, but the company's called Empower Network. And Empower Network has a series of products that they sell. When you join and when you become an affiliate to Empower Network, well, first of all, when you buy their products, you can just buy them and use their products. The products are, number one, a blogging system that is dead simple, easy to use. The second is a training series of audios, just kind of mind that again, every week there's another one added to our, we call it Inner Circle library. And then we have some progressively more powerful marketing trainings in a series of products. And you, if you end up getting the blogging system, you decide and you get some of the training to help you promote your system. When you become an affiliate, that actually gives you the ability to earn commission from the system. Now, there's lots of diagrams about the compensation plan and things like that, but I'll make the compensation plan as simple as I can for you without doing a big diagram. Every time a product is sold on Empower Network pays out 100% commission to one person. So if you sell the blogging system, it pays 100% commission. If you sell the circle, it pays 100% commission. Doesn't matter what the products are, that money goes out in the form of commission to one person. So it's not like some of these companies where they pay little slivers to all kinds of people so that you get this little fraction of income. When somebody sells a product here, 100% commission is paid out to you. Or paid out, I should say. Now, there's an alternating process to the commission at the very beginning to basically encourage leaders to work with their team, get them up to speed. And the alternating program means when you first sell a product, the first one you sell, the commission for that actually goes to your sponsor. Okay? When the second one, when you sell your second one, the commission for that goes right to you, 100% commission. Now, the cool thing is that commission is pretty much what you paid for the product, with one exception, that being a product called the Master's course. It's a little bit less than 100% on that one. But on all the others, it's about 100% commission. So you basically, if you make 2 sales, you've made a pretty big chunk of your cost back. But the even cooler thing is, remember when I said the first sale is a pass up to your sponsor? Well, guess what? The cool news is when you make a sale, you're the sponsor. Okay? Or pardon me, the person that bought from you makes a sale, you're their sponsor. So the first commission the first product they sell goes to you, as well as the first pass-ups from that person, and that person, and that person. So on your very second sale, you can have an entire line of people that you're going to get the first commission back to you. So that's kind of as simple as I can make it. What it means that you don't have to be selling millions of copies to make some money with this. You're going to get the first, third, and fifth sale from your second, fourth, and sixth sales that you make, and you're going to also get 4 out of every 5 sales going forward. After your initial 6, 4 out of 5 go to you. So your sponsor is there through that learning phase while you're getting going, and you know, hopefully mentoring and hopefully teaching and showing you what to do. But you also making a couple sales will then start having this entire stream of people passed to you. Now again, without big charts and all that, it's always a little tricky to try to explain that without a chart, but I didn't think we had time to go into a chart process tonight. But the other thing I wanted to emphasize is we have a new, an entirely new kind of way of selling that I think is perfect for baby boomers. And that is, we now have a DVD program. And I'm going to explain a little bit about that. And do you have sound there yet? No.
I think I have sound, Patrick.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. I'll take a break here. Why don't you just continue for a bit, and then I'll come back and explain a bit more of the DVD, and I want to tell the story about my barber, okay?
Okay, yeah, that'll be a really good one, actually. I was
Okay, I'm
so
sorry. I didn't know you had audio earlier. I would have got you in earlier.
Don't worry, Patrick. The gremlins are having fun tonight, so we won't worry about it. I just want a little bit of check, maybe from Anna Marie or Sue, if you can actually type into Skype that you can actually see me and hear me. That'd be brilliant. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Anna Marie. Now, you know, Patrick's done such a brilliant job because all of these things have been going wrong, but that's life, that's business, right? So we'll just bomb on with it. Now, earlier, you know, Patrick talked about having your why. Why do you want to make it work? That is what is so important. And I'm very aware today that we'll be having a lot of current members of Empower Network, you know, taking a good look at things, etc. And also, maybe I'm hoping there are guests on here. Welcome to everybody. Such a pleasure being able to talk with you like this. Now, a little bit about my story. I've said this before, so some of you might have heard this. My journey started when I was about 50 years old. In fact, I was actually 50 at the time. And the reason I'm 56, by the way, Patrick. There you go. The reason I remember it so clearly was it was my birthday, and you know, I could see the housing market. I could see the bubble just growing.
Marion, we don't have any audio now, unfortunately. It's bizarre. I've never had a Google Hangout do this, so it's wonderful to have it all go on tonight on our inaugural one. It's too bad. You were coming through perfect. No sound. I'm not getting any sound. So I'll tell you what, I'll just continue on again until we hear you. So what I was about to say earlier is recently we've launched a program with some DVDs. The DVD program I really love because, you know, everybody isn't internet oriented. Everybody isn't necessarily technical oriented. Now, I don't believe you really have to be. So before I even go down that path, our products are going to teach you what you need to know. And really, effectively, all you need to learn is one thing, and that is to have some people see your offer. It's as simple as that. How to have people see your offer. As we already said, you only have to have a few sales to basically recoup your own investment, right? So you need to get people to see your offer. The more people you get to see the offer, the better. So there's all kinds of ways to technically do that. As I mentioned, you could do blog posts, you could record videos. I've done a lot of videos and put them on YouTube and things like that. I've done a lot of other Hangouts. We didn't have the audio challenges, but we've done a lot of Hangouts, and that's been good as well. But you have to learn simply how to have people, connect with you and see your offer. And I don't just send them to a sales page. I don't just send them to the offer. I sometimes send them to something more from me. I'll just give you an example. I did just a series of videos a week or so ago. I recorded about 7 videos. And I did them all in one day. I went to a park and did them outside just to get away from the office. It was a nice day. And I did 7 videos. And I created a kind of a lead capture page for those that know this kind of stuff. Created a lead capture page. People opted in, saw those videos, and then later in those videos, I popped up the Empower Network offer. So hey, now that you've starting to learn my stuff, this is really what I'm doing, and here's the product. So I don't just go, opt in, go to the Empower Network offer. It's opt in, get to know me, let me help you with what you're doing, and then get to the Empower Network offer. Well, the interesting thing is that I can share about that campaign is I've had some sales with it, but more importantly, I also had 0 unsubscribes from that list. 0. If I was selling people nonstop on that list, I would have had unsubscribes. I may have had some sales, but I would have had a lot of unsubscribes as well. So by letting people see me and letting people hear from me and letting me share some of the things I have on that particular campaign, I've had sales, 1, but secondly, I've had people see the offer, 2, third, I've had people buy, and 4th, I've had nobody unsubscribe. So there's a little bit of a lesson there. Now, back to the DVD. Marion, any sound yet or no? No. I guess not. No, I don't know why. So anyway, so we'll continue on. So recently, even though that's fairly easy, I don't mind doing that, doing posts or videos or whatever, but some people still find some of it a challenge. And I don't know that baby boomers would or would not, but I do know that most baby boomers haven't been, born with computers the way little kids are now. So we all have DVD players, we all have TVs. I don't know, maybe even DVD players are getting a little passé, but you can put a DVD in your computer or a DVD player. So we came out with a DVD program just about a month and a half ago. And when I got it, I got a bundle of these DVDs. Excuse me for a second. I got a bundle of these DVDs at our recent conference we had in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when I got home, I just happened to be going to the barber one day, and it was a new barber. I didn't even know him. And we're chatting, and he asked me what I was doing, what I did for a living. He said, "Are you retired, or what do you do?" And I said, "No, I kind of teach people how to make money on the internet." And he looked at me, and he said, "Really? You teach people?" And I said, "Yeah, I kind of do." And he said, "Oh, that's cool." He said, "I'd love to do." He said, "But I don't have any time to do anything like that. I mean, I've just opened this new barber shop, and it is a new one." And I could tell he spent a lot of money on this barber shop. And he said, "I'm just here like nonstop." And I said, "Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, I don't have them with me, but I've got a DVD that you should watch. Because if you don't have time to do the internet stuff, and maybe you're not technically, he's a trained barber, he may know how to do some internet stuff, he may not. But I tell you what," I said, "I'm going to give you a DVD, and you click the DVD. Watch the DVD. And then give me a call after you're done." So I took it back to him a couple days later, and I just said, "Here it is. This is going to show you what you need to, what you need to do." And the DVD is marvelous. The DVD is fantastic. It explains the system. It explains the comp plan in a way much better than I could, because it could take a lot longer, and also, they've got the charts and things like that going. And it just explains the process so easily. But the cool thing about the DVD is, at the end of it, people really want to join. They really want to join. And I just said, at the end of it, after he got the DVD, he said he'll give me a call tomorrow. I didn't hear from him, so I just called him back and said, "So what did you think of the DVD?" And he said, "Oh, it was pretty cool." And I said, "So sounds like you're ready to get started." And he said, "Absolutely." And I said, "Well, you just go to that website and fill in the form and get going." And basically, that's it. That's all I did. I gave him a DVD. Now here's the thing for him. So I made a sale, okay? I made a sale, simple as that. I didn't push him on it. If he didn't join, that was his business. But I made a sale, I made some commission. The cool thing for him now is he can put these DVDs right in his store. He's got people coming into the store all day long. They all probably want to make some money. They're all sitting there talking to him for a while too, by the way. So he's got a bit of a captive audience. But the cool thing is he can have these DVDs sitting there. It's called a starter kit. And the starter kit, we're going to pop up a button here any moment. In fact, it may have just popped up just now. It's called a starter kit. And the starter kit basically is the nice, simple, easy way to get going with this system through one sign-up. And what the starter kit you're going to get is our blogging system itself, our inner circle itself, so all of the training, the mindset training, and there's technical things in it, but there's all kinds of training in it. And a lot of it done by people that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And again, our earnings aren't typical. By the way, when you look on the starter kit, there's a button there. When you go in there and you opt into that page, when you fill that in, it'll take you to another page. There will be an income disclosure on that page. It'll explain, basically the averages that people make based on the amounts of time they tend to put into the business. So my earnings aren't typical. Marion's earnings aren't typical. But the income disclosure shows them all. We're very open about it, so everybody knows in advance how it works. So what the starter kit does, though, is it gives you the blogging system, the inner circle, and your affiliate package. So you become an affiliate so you sell the product. Not only that, though, those are all digital. That's automatic. As soon as you sign up, you are ready to go with that. There's training that comes with that to get fast start training as well. And there's a package, a physical package that's sent out to you, okay, with a whole bundle, 20 of these DVDs. So you can, hand them out to the people that you want to hand them out to. And after they watch the video, basically all you have to say is, what do you think of the video? And I would say a very, very high percentage of the time, after people watch this video, they will be floored and they will be really wanting to get going. And then all you say is, so let's get started, go here. And you've earned a commission. Now, the cool thing about the starter kit is, because you're selling, when you have the starter kit and you sell the starter kit, you're really selling 3 products, 2 of which are commissionable products. You're selling the blogging system and the inner circle, and those are recurring commissions of a total of $125 monthly. Okay, so you're going to get paid commission of $125. We don't pay commission on the DVDs or the affiliate program. The affiliate program basically takes care of all the back-end processing, credit card processing, sending money to you when you earn it and that type of thing, and customer support and that type of thing. But the blogging system and the inner circle are your first 2 commissionable programs. The other cool thing is there are other products in the system that you can buy for more advanced training and that you can sell, and people can buy them from you, and so you'll earn more commission even than the $125 when people buy those products. So I just want to make sure that we have, the button is on, everything's on there. So the starter kit is kind of a whole bundle. A bunch of it is digital that you're going to get immediately, okay, immediately as soon as you go in and fill it in. And the rest of it is physical that is going to be shipped to you, the DVDs and the starter manual and things like that. So it's a wonderful product, I really believe, for boomers, especially ones that haven't done a lot of computer work, because you tend to know a lot of people and you may not have the computer skills. Now, you're going to learn the skills, but in the meantime, you can hand out DVDs, and when people join, you're going to make a nice commission. Okay, so that's why we think the starter kit is the perfect solution for baby boomers to get going. Marion, any sound there? No? Yeah? No? Nope. No sound. Don't know why. That's weird. We were on before and it was just fine. So that's what we want to do with the starter kit. Now, we're going to go back to some lessons. The starter kit will be there. We'll just talk a little bit more. Again, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Marion and her why, but I guess we're not going to get that right now. So we'll talk a little bit more about other ideas for promotion. But next week, I'm going to get into a bit more of this, and hopefully we won't have any glitches next week, and you're able to join us again then as well. Ideas for promotion. Again, I mentioned handing out starter kits. If you're involved with organizations or people or friends, I don't mind handing them out to friends because I'm proud and excited about what I've been able to achieve, and a lot of them want to achieve it too. So I don't consider that a deal. Now, I never had done anything like meetings or any of that kind of stuff. I'd never been involved in network marketing of any kind before. So I hadn't done that. And with the internet marketing aspect of Empower, which I actually really like, and I've been able to do that's how where most of my business has been from, is internet marketing. I haven't had to do those meetings. And I didn't have the luxury of DVDs. And I also didn't have even the luxury of that kind of messing up of the first sale of an entire downline before. That's new. So had we had that even when I joined and started, I would have a lot more money I expect than I have already. But I am not complaining at all about the money I've made with this. And I'm in the top 1% of the organization. Marion is in the top 200 in the organization. We're an organization that's had over 200,000 people buy products from us. I don't know how many are affiliates, but over 200,000 people have bought products from us at some point. And Marion is in the top 200 affiliates, and I think I was like number 256 or something at last count, somewhere between there and 300. So she's a little bit more than me. So congratulations, Marion. Nice job. Nice job. So we've been able to do it, and here we are as baby boomers being able to do this. And I don't hound people. When my barber asked me what I did, I told him. And then all of a sudden he expressed interest. I didn't go into my barber saying, do you want to buy a home business? Do you want a home business? Do you want a home business? No. He asked me what I did. I told him, and his eyes perked up, and then he said he didn't have time, and I said, I'll give you a DVD. Have a look at it. And guess what? Now he's got those DVDs sitting at the front of the store, and he said, should I give them away or sell them? And I said, sell them. I said, sell them. Don't give them away. Kids will take them, and who knows what'll happen. I said, sell them for, $5. I mean, they don't cost that much when you buy them, but sell them for $5 so that when people buy it, they'll treat it with some value and then play it, as opposed to just handing them out. Now, that's a person in a store. He's got the infrastructure to sell it. Now, if I had a friend who wanted it, I'm not selling it. But if people hit you up and you want to mail it out to them, you could do it, or they can pay you $5 and PayPal, do anything you want to do. Right? That's totally up to you. That is your business. And this whole thing is your business. Somebody's calling me. I can't take a call right now. This whole thing is your business if you choose to get started. Okay? We're going to give you some guidance. We're in teams that will give you some guidance, some training, some ideas, some tools. Okay? And we all are. A lot of us are in different teams that do that. Marion's in a team, I'm in a team, and we provide some help. But I want to stress, we don't do your business. We help. We help as far as pointing you in the right direction. We help as far as pointing you to the right products. You want to learn this, here's the product that we have all that in. Okay, we point people in the right direction, and we offer some guidance and training and things like that as well. But it's your business. So what you do with your business is your business. You own it, and you treat it like a business. And I treat mine now like a business. It's not full-time for me. I'm making a full-time income, but I don't have to spend full time at doing it. But I guarantee I spend a few hours a day on my business. Okay, and to do a few hours a day for what I consider a reasonable full time income at this point in my life is, I think, a great, great deal. So I really wanted to have a chat with Marion, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. And I'm not going to go down any further lessons at all tonight. I want to just encourage you guys, anybody who's out there, if you're already involved in this, this is not a hard business. Just don't overthink it. All it is we have a whole series of products that you sell. That's it. We have a series of products that you sell. All your job is to get those products so that people see your offers. They see your offer. And you don't have to lead with your product, as I said in this earlier on. I led with a little bit of a video training course. I didn't even put that course on a website. I used a product that I subscribed to, and I put the video on each a page called Lead Pages. And that's it. There was an opt-in that I used with a tool called Lead Pages, easy to do. And then the videos that I sent out, I put on six identically formatted lead pages, each one with a video. It really wasn't hard. And I recorded those videos in no more than an hour. That was it. And so I built myself what we call a sales funnel. And when people see that funnel, they see our offer. Some of those people end up joining your offer, joining your business. When they join your business, you make commission. And it's as simple as that. In this, so don't overanalyze it. Don't try to do 500 different things to promote your business. Do one or two and learn one or two, and learn those one or two that you like and learn them well. Like, I like doing videos. I just like doing videos. I enjoy it. Now I do a lot from my desk, but I'm getting away from that now. But that's my thing. A lot of people don't like doing videos, you know. So you might do something else. Excuse me for a sec. So you might do something else, but that's up to you. Excuse me. So all the training is in the products here. That's the beauty of the system. These products teach you what you need to do, and our affiliate program gives you the commission in a nice, neat bundle when you sell the products. So you buy the products to learn what you need to do, and you sell the products to make money. And that's as simple as it. That's how this all works. Now look, next week we'll do another one of these Hangouts. I don't know why we've been online together even just before this Hangout, and we had no problem with sound. So I'm sorry that we had problems with sound tonight. It's embarrassing, but we're using Google, you know, and who knows what the issue it is. It might be something to do with my bandwidth or Marion's bandwidth. I don't know. But the cool thing is the video seems to be there and seems to be playing on the website just fine. If it ever had a hiccup, just refresh the screen and see it again. When you open the website, the Fast Start package bundle will show up at around 40 minutes into the website. So if you have had to refresh, you'll have to leave you're going to have to leave your browser open for that button to show up. Or in fact, what I'm going to do is right after the session here is I'm just going to turn it on so it'll be there permanently, so that people won't have to do it. But you'll have to refresh your page then, and that button will be there. So we want you to first of all take a look at the program. You just click on it. It says check out our starter kit. That's not the checkout process yet, but you're going to go in there. You're going to give your email, and then it'll show you more information about exactly what you get. And again, some of this is digital that is turned on immediately, and then the bundle of DVDs and all that is going to be shipped. So that's right there for you. Easy, easy, easy. And the cool thing is, by doing it this way and this, all these things are all tied together, so it's one order, one time. And then the Inner Circle and the blogging system are monthly recurring purchases, so it'll repeat that and the affiliate program. So it'll repeat for those purchases at a total of $144 a month. That's $25 for the blog, $100 for the inner circle, and $19 the affiliate program. So that's $144 a month. The cool thing is, when you sell it, you make $125 from the sale. Okay? And if it's your second, not the first one, but the second one. And then the first one that the person below you does, you get, and the first one that person makes, you get, and so forth. You also get your third one and fifth, and then 4 out of every 5 going forward. So this can get very, very lucrative given that kind of fanning out of downline, that if they make one sale and that's a sale that's going to you, when you get a bunch of people selling stuff, it really adds up, especially when we're doing the starting with the starter kit. So that's $125 monthly recurring commission to you for as long as people stick with the program. Okay, so this, for me, this is a long-term program. I've been in it. It will be 2 years starting this Friday is my 2-year anniversary, but I honestly didn't do anything for about the first 4 months at all, and then I finally kicked in. You know, like I didn't do any promotion or hardly anything at all, but I finally decided, yeah, I want to do this. It took me about 4 months. So I've really only been kind of at it about 20 months total of real ongoing promotion. And for me, I think it's wonderful. It's given me more enthusiasm, kind of excitement about some things. You know, when I make more money, my wife thinks I'm sexier, I think. So I try to tell her. It's just, and it's fun. And we have a lot of live events. I've been to a lot of live events. I've been to 5 different ones. My wife and I have been traveling a lot as well. On the page of Boomer High, I've got a pic in the back. We did a hiking tour, basically a walking tour of Amalfi in Italy. I was looking for a picture of Amalfi, and I found that, and I put it on the page. And then the more I looked at it afterwards, I don't think that is Amalfi. I think that might be a spot in Greece, because as much as I love the picture, it doesn't look exactly like Amalfi to me. But that was my motivation for putting that picture there. That was one of the nicest vacations we've been. We've been to 32 countries in our life, and travel is our passion. Wow. And that's actually back to the freedom and the motivation of doing this. I can do this from anywhere in the world. If I can get on my cell phone, I can do this. Because I don't even have to get on the cell phone. If somebody sees my website at any time, if they buy it, I earn commission, right? So we have a freedom now by having this online business that's sitting out there working for us 24 hours a day. And as the income grows, we have more freedom, because then we don't have to be accountable to anybody else. We just have to do business in a nice, our accountability is to a higher power. And as beyond that, it's to ourselves. And to be ethical and honest in what we do. And so it's getting us to the point to having the freedom to be able to travel and enjoy things that, yes, we traveled a lot, and a lot of my travel was business travel too. So as much as it was nice to see some places, I was working. So now, though, it's given us a freedom that we can, when she retires the next couple months, we can start going wherever we want to do and do it when we want. And this business is open all the time for me. So I encourage you to have a look. The starter kit is right there. Go in there, take a look at it. You're going to see everything you get. Order it tonight. Okay, order it tonight. It'll be shipped in the next couple days, but you'll also get the digital setup immediately this evening. So while you're excited, get on it. Take advantage of your excitement. Take advantage of the enthusiasm, and take advantage of using this to go and address that why, that passion that you said you had earlier. So with that, I've gone a little bit long, and unfortunately, it wasn't nearly as interactive as we hoped for technical restrictions. But I hope you had some
think you
fun.
did very well.
Oh, now you're coming on. Now when I'm about to leave, you got
Don't ask me, Patrick. It's just the way it is. But I think we've gone long enough for this week. So yeah, we leave it. We'll get it more polished.
Well, who knows? I mean, this isn't something we could have done any better at. It was Google that was kind of,
no. Paul Beatty does have a point, though. He says you probably angered Google when you sort of said they didn't pay you for that $38, which is so they cut our voice off.
I didn't quite hear you there, Mary. I'm sorry. You cut out a little bit.
That's all right. Don't worry. You've done really well. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now.
Let's see. I just want to check the site if there are any questions. Are we going to redo this session? Well, we're going to do another one next week. Same time, same channel. We'll leave this video on. This video may be okay. We don't know until we see it. Okay. So the video will probably take a half an hour to render, and it'll remain on the website. I want to see if there are any other questions. Money and freedom, what a combination. Yeah, good point. Exactly, Susan. Thank you. Residual income is great. Yes, it is. I mean, think about it, guys. Residual income is really meaning you don't have to sell it every month all the time. When you make another sale next month, it adds to your residual income. It doesn't replace the sale you made the last month, right? So that's the cool thing. Residual income is great. But the nice thing is we also have these other products that are kind of bigger hits. If you get them, if you get them and you get those products and learn what to do with them and start selling them, all of a sudden you're getting not just $125 commission, you're getting $500 or $1,000 or $3,000, or in fact, there's even a discount to get all those products when you first get into the system. I think you're going to have a 6-day period where you're going to be offered an ultra special discount to get all of what we call the core products, the all-in products, at an ultra special discount at a lot less money than Marion and I paid for the products. But I don't mind that. I love it. I love it. I love it because it makes it easier for people to get them, and then for them to learn from them, and then for them to build their business. So I think it's wonderful that Empower Network just put that bundle discount together once people get into the system. So anybody who goes in, if you can get the other products as well, that are what we call the core products, there's going to be a special 6-day discount from the day you start to get those at a couple $1,000s off. I believe that's what the discount is, right? But again, we didn't get them. We paid full price for those, and I don't mind that one bit because I've sold them on many times. So I didn't care if I sold full price for them. But you know what? When you're just getting started and you haven't sold them, take advantage of the discount and get them all right up front, right? So look, we got to figure out why Google wanted to be so fussy with us tonight. I don't know. I don't want to have to start using GoToWebinar and that. I like Hangouts and all, but we'll see. We may have to do something like that if that's the case. But I think we'll try with Google Hangouts next week. So let's leave it at that tonight. Yeah. Mary, do you have any closing comments first, and then I'll close out?
Patrick, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, excellent. All right. I'll keep this really, really brief. Okay. It is all about your why. You may have kind of heard about other businesses, and they may not have worked out for you. You may have heard about all sorts of stuff online that really doesn't work. This business works for serious people. People who want to make it work for them, who want to take it seriously, respect it like a business. The whole company has this brilliant culture, which actually helps us, it has that stability that we need. And it is really very, very simple. You can overcomplicate it, etc. But it's so simple. I mean, what's simpler than handing out a DVD? You know, it's as simple as that. But I'll tell you what kind of made it for me. I remember watching my very first Hangout with David Wood, the uh, founder of Empower Network. And, you know, I'd come from a background where, and some of my team are on this call now, and they will understand exactly when I say, I came from a background where I'd build something and then I'd have the rug pulled from under my feet. Okay, and it happened 2 or 3 times, and I was exhausted, you know, putting in all this effort, all this money as well, building a team and then being let down by the owner of the company. And I'd almost kind of washed my hands off network marketing. And then in this particular hangout, the very first time I heard David Wood speak, he said something that had me in floods of tears. And basically what he said was, let me see, he said something along the lines of, he would rather die than have his company go down. And truthfully, that's the kind of stability I wanted, to be able to build not just my future, but the future for my team, etc. So, you know, if you're sitting on the fence, time to hop off. Okay. Otherwise, you know, you're going to be a victim of what I call the 40-40-40 rule. And what is that? So you spend 40 hours a week. If you're lucky, usually it's a lot longer than that. So you spend 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life. And then if you're lucky, you retire on 40% of your wages. Okay. What kind of, you know, what kind of life is that to look forward to? What kind of future is that to look forward to? Right. So now is the time to get going, get into this community of people who are forward thinking, you know, positive thinking, who speak life into you. Right. Get into the situation now and let's get going. That's something I love about this team, this whole company. It's called, you know, you lock arms and fight the forces of evil. Okay. So let's do that. And Patrick, with that, you did an amazing job considering all the challenges we've had today. But yeah, I'll hand back to you, Patrick. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Look, you never know what Google's going to, or you know, YouTube or whatever the Hangout thing is. I don't know if it's a bandwidth issue that happened on my end tonight. It could be my cable provider too. Who knows? The point is, we shared the message. Some people got it, and see from the comments, some people got it, and a lot of people are pretty excited about it. And clearly, I think they can tell that we are. I've never been more excited about it, frankly. When the DVD thing came out, I just thought wonderful, because I knew that not all the technology stuff is perfect for everybody, okay? Yet to give somebody a DVD, have them get excited, ask them a question, have them join is not a difficult thing for anybody to do. You know, you could, even if you want to hold meetings, you could. Again, that's up to you know, people. You could have 20 people, you know, meet you at some event. You could do a presentation, play the DVD. Your presentation could literally be about a 10-minute presentation and play the DVD.
Yeah.
And you'll get people to join if they watch this DVD. So look, it's never been simpler, and actually with the change to the comp plan, it's never been more lucrative as well. So I'm going to end things now. Marion, thank you very much. And again, for all you guys out there, we're sorry about whatever was going on with the Hangout, but it's out of our control that way. And we'll see you next Wednesday, same time. We're going to leave this on here. If the video is great, I'll leave it up. If the video is terrible, I'll just record a new video and upload it there as a placeholder till next week. Okay? So thanks again. Thank you, Marion. We'll see you next week. All the best in the south coast of England, and all the best to me in the south coast of Canada. And God bless, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you, Patrick. Night to all.
Bye-bye. Thank you.